and that actually points to kind of the subject of your most recent column, which is, really what is the end game? What is the end goal here in Gaza? And we have a question on this from Ricardo Hellman from Florida. He asks, what is an achievable scenario that could end the war in Gaza and provide a realistic two-state solution? Who are the players that would need to support it economically, in addition to the Palestinians and Israelis? You wrote pretty forcefully about this in your most recent column this week, including about, as you see it, the fact that Prime Minister Netanyahu has never really laid out an answer to this question.
So I think that's my biggest criticism of Prime Minister Netanyahu is he has not had a strategic plan for where this war ends. What kind of future he envisions for Gaza, for Israel's relations with Gaza. I worry that he's just creating a version of Somalia on his border, endless chaos, which isn't good for Israel and certainly isn't good for the Palestinians who live there. We're a long way from a two-state solution. I should make that clear. It's gonna take many months to get to the point of even being able to advance that seriously. But it is possible, indeed, it's essential to think about what the governance and security mechanism for Gaza will be as Israeli troops withdraw, as we move into this ceasefire phase that everybody hopes is coming. Who's going to keep order? We talk about humanitarian convoys, hundreds of trucks moving into Gaza. Who's going to guarantee that bandits don't just rip off the supplies coming out of those trucks, as has happened in the past in the footage that you showed before we began? So I think Netanyahu needs to think carefully about that. He's been resistant to the obvious solution, which is to take the Palestinian Authority's people in Gaza. There are nearly 10,000 of them, in theory, on the rolls as supporters of the Palestinian Authority, and train them, uh, uh, discipline them, convert them over time into a force that will provide an alternative to Hamas to govern Gaza and to provide security. If he doesn't do that, the mess we have now is going to lead into another kind of mess, less dangerous for Israel, but I fear no less miserable for the Palestinians in Gaza.
Do you think it's going to take a change in Israeli leadership at the top to see them through to the end?
So I have been disappointed that Netanyahu has resisted thinking clearly about these issues. I think there are others in the war cabinet who have thought much more carefully. I think the defense ministry of Gallant has tried to think about the day after. Benny Gantz was talking about it today and some things that I read. I think the issue is that Israel as a whole needs to think beyond its understandable, totally uh, human rage about October 7 and the slaughter of Israelis in that attack to what comes next. It's in their interest to do that, and I think the person who's the next prime minister, whoever he is, needs to put that at the top of his list of to do.